once surpassed profound and wonderful Dharma is difficult to encounter in hundreds of millions of aeons. I now see and hear it, receive and uphold it, and I vow to fathom the Tathagata's true meaning.
Okay, so today our topic is on sadness. Okay, so we have actually completed fear, anger, and guilt, right? So now we are entering into how to say goodbye to sadness. Okay, a lot of times when we have a lot of fear in life, a lot of worries, a lot of anger or agitation or ill-hearted feeling, this is the one make us feel very sad after a long while. So after we have a lot of fear, anger, usually we overdo or underdo, then we create a lot of guilt. And then with all this negativity in us, easily we will enter into sadness, and then that leads to depression. Usually this kind of sadness we're talking about is a sadness that is no cause to it. Meaning you just feel sad about everything. It's not that somebody passed away, you feel sad, You don't know why, you feel very helpless, hopeless, very sad. And then this is experienced by most of the depressed people. So why is it so? Because of our mind has been bogged down by all these negative emotions. Especially our fear, worries, our anger, our agitation, our ill-hearted feelings, and also guilt. Right? Because of this, we become sad easily. So, usually, after we try very hard in life, we end up moving nowhere, so we enter into depression. That's why nowadays a lot of this type of sickness, because there are too many emotions inside us, and we don't know how to release them. It's not to suppress, to release them. Right? So today we are here to learn how to accept a lot of things that happen to us that we cannot accept. Acceptance is not a to-do. It is an effect. So we come to that later. Okay? Why people so hard to accept? Yeah, your husband like that, accept lah. Wow, accept how to accept? It's not easy, easier to said than done. How to accept? If we don't do anything, ask you to accept just like that, you just cannot, because acceptance is an effect of after a lot of homework. Okay, we are going into that later. Alright, we become very sad because life is such. The first noble truth, the Buddha said, life is suffering. So we go through these 8 sufferings, and then we think about ourselves and the people around us. Okay? There are 8 types of suffering in our life. The first, birth. During birth is definitely suffering, but we just forgot. 10 months in the womb of our parents actually is tremendous suffering inside. Imagine you are cramped inside a very dark, wet, that kind of environment, but it's just that we forgot. Actually, we have feelings, and we know everything. We know what is going on. And when we are being pushed out that time, imagine our skin is so soft that time. Actually, it's tremendous pain. We also forgot. But at that time, actually, a lot of suffering. And after we were born, who we are, we have to accept who we are. Because the day we were born, we actually brought forward our 8 consciousness, which is the storage of our karma, good and bad karma. Okay? So, who we are depends. Maybe we born not so beautiful, or maybe we born physically handicapped, or maybe we are born not so tall, very short. These are the intrinsic values we carry across from past life. Or maybe sometimes sickly, weak, and some even born retarded, autism. So all these are the suffering during birth. Next, what we have, what we attract, because it's actually manifested from our past life as well, our 8 consciousness. So what we have can be born in a poor family, maybe with parents who are not so loving, who actually dislike us, or maybe with siblings who are not close to us, or maybe we have bad relatives. So these are the belonging, what we have. Of course, all this can be changed if we practice and we repent, right? So inside eight consciousness is already installed there, all the big issues, like for example, how we grow up, what kind of teacher we meet, what kind of wife or husband we marry to, what kind of children we're going to get, how we're going to sick and die. So all these are predestined, but doesn't mean that it cannot be changed. Let's say we die 80 years old, there are another 80 years for us to change and convert our eight consciousness. Okay? So, of course, when at birth, also lastly determine what's ahead. Like for example, there are certain events, like some people, they suffer because parents die young. Or maybe when they grow up, they are supposed to meet with failure like bankruptcy or divorce. Sometimes the big one are already identified inside the eight consciousness. Or some people already destined they will have to meet with accidents, rape, or maybe robbery. There's life-threatening type. And all these are actually installed inside the eight consciousness. So this is the suffering of birth. In fact, these three are actually what we deserve 100%. Remember this one? If you listen to this one, you realize this birth is actually the carry forward from our past. All stored inside our eight consciousness. Okay? So after birth, we come to old age. And during old age, we have things like health, which is a suffering. We feel weak, breathless, short breath, right? And we have body pain, menopause, for men, andropause. And then we have body odor. When we grow old, it's very natural. We become uglier because everything sags. Eye bag, our tummy, our hair dropping, wrinkles, our patches. All these are signs of old age. Okay, next, ability-wise, in terms of ability, we become weaker in our senses, our eyesight, our listening, our ears, all this we become weaker. Sometimes clumsy, like not so efficient anymore because of the eyesight are very poor already. And then the inefficient and slow, sometimes forgetful. These are all signs, okay? But they are suffering, okay? Then, lastly, for old age, we have lower self-worth. Definitely lah, because we feel less important because our children all grown up already. We feel not wanted. I remember I spoke to one 83-year-old auntie. So she asked me, you know what is loneliness? I said, I know, lonely, being alone. He said, no, I mean real loneliness. I said, what's that? He said, real loneliness is when you are with a lot of people, but nobody know that you exist. That is called real loneliness. Don't feel wanted. Because she said a lot of times at home, when everybody start talking in English, she doesn't understand English. So she look. After all the commotion, all the drama gone, everybody go back to their room. She doesn't know what happened actually. So this is called real loneliness. That's why when we old, we feel very unimportant. So this is the feeling of not being wanted. This is part and parcel of our 8 sufferings. Okay? So then, third, sickness. Sickness, of course, we have pain. Okay, many types of sickness are famous, 3 high, usual. And then we have a lot of pain here, pain there, the sickness. Like for example, heart disease, or maybe like my mom, dialysis, or maybe some of us are heavier with diabetic, all these are sickness that coming in for old age. And now a lot of mental illness as well. I heard that there are a lot of old people entering into depression. So that's why we have to identify early so that we learn Dharma. Learn Dharma to open up ourselves, to let go. right? So to learn some skill. So this is very important for our mental health, okay? And then also change of lifestyle because of sickness. So when we are sick, usually we visit hospitals, we eat medicine, all these involve money as well. Money, care, time, effort from our children, even ourselves. So these are suffering in life, okay? The fourth one is death. This is our biggest brother, okay? So death is something nobody can avoid. People can die because of age. Some people die young. Some people die old. Then accident or maybe murder or crime we may meet in life. And then some commit suicide. And finally, sickness and old age. Alright, so these are the main 4 types of suffering that the Buddha also mentioned most of the time. And these 4 suffering, birth, old age, sickness, and death, is the most threatening to everyone because this is something that we can't do much. It is just part and parcel of life. We need to learn to accept it. Sometimes we need some supra-mundane wisdom. That is why the reason for the coming of the Buddha. The Buddha come here to teach us how to go beyond birth and death. Not only come here to teach us how to lead a good life. Leading a good life, you can become Deva, that one no problem. But you don't need a Buddha for that. A Buddha come here to teach us how to go beyond birth and death. Okay? And then the next 4 types these are happen to us every day. Parting with loved ones. For example, break up a relationship. This can happen to us anytime. Break up in a relationship or maybe being rejected. Like for example, somebody passing away also. Parents that you love very much pass on. Or maybe your uncle, your beloved uncle, auntie who you care a lot pass away. Or maybe some of our siblings who pass away. Or the worst is when our children pass away. One of the most suffering things that can happen to mankind. But these are truth of life. Then also we have leaving, left us. Like children, after they grown up, they will leave us one day. It's just like I have a friend, she got very, very sad when she found out that the eldest son in his early 20s start smoking. So I said, smoking only what? Nothing lah. Boys, they want to try, They may not be addicted to it, they just try. So she felt very sad and hurt. Then I said, this is something funny. So after some investigation into her psychology side, then only she found out she was very hurt because she was not the first to know. She is one of the last to know. So she felt that the closeness with the son is no longer there. And that one hurt them. Especially a lot of mothers towards their children. So this is leaving. Our children one day grown up already, there goes the attention from them. So you felt the emptiness. So this is parting with loved ones because you love him so much. Okay? And sometimes even good friends left us. Very close friends, very buddy, either migrate or either pass away. So this type of thing can be very sad. Or maybe teachers. I interviewed some people before. They are actually affected the whole life because a teacher that she loved so much left her. This kind of thing can affect us as well. Okay? And then next, meeting with hate ones. This one also very sad. Very, very agitating as well. So, hate ones are people when you are being with them, they always create disharmony. Like for example, either very hot-tempered, very fierce, a bit selfish, ruthless, don't care, irresponsible or careless. So when we meet with this type of people, usually we're very stressed. For your information, meeting with hate ones a lot of times are family members, like parents, siblings, spouse. I have a friend, she is a rich man's daughter. She's beautiful, very tall, very smart. She got a top degree in US. She went overseas. And the father loved her so much. But the day she married the husband, can see her whole fortune fell 90 degrees. So this one is really meeting with hate ones. 2 years ago, she came back and she told me, she said, marriage is really something unfortunate for her. It's really something very unlucky because after that, her entire life changed because of the spouse. So sometimes we meet with hate ones, can be somebody we're very close. This one lead to the topic for next 2 classes, karma creditor. Okay, karma creditor and karmic debt, usually Theravada they don't really speak about. I think the Mahayana they talk about a lot. But this is something undeniable because you can see, witness everywhere out there. Okay, so we talk about this topic next 2 lessons. Okay, and then also we have meeting with the hate ones among siblings. 2 years ago in Kapong, there was this girl, she committed suicide. Before she died, she texted the sister. Sister 19 years old, she was 18, and another brother 10. It seems the mother loved the sister so much, favoritism. She always want to outperform this sister. Before she jumped, she texted the elder sister. She said, I'm so jealous of you. And she texted the mother and said, you only love Jie and brother. I am an outcast in your eyes. To suffer dying is very short. But to suffer the rivalry is too hard to bear. You see, maybe this girl can be self-imposed. That's why sometimes this kind of thing is the rivalry can be very hurtful, can be a hate ones. Okay? And then meeting hate ones like children. This one very ironical also. I have an old couple who actually are my good friends. Okay? So I always have dinner with them. But they told me the only thing that they felt very hurtful is the only daughter, because the daughter don't have very good relationship with them. But somehow they met with this little girl. This girl in her 20s, she loved this pair of old lady and old man so much like father. So everything she attend to them. So they were saying, how nice if this is my daughter. Then I asked them, what about this girl with her parents? I said, sorry, cannot get along. You see, human being so funny. This one's so nice to me, like my own daughter. His own daughter never visited them. But how come, when you are with other people's daughter, you are better, But this girl, she cannot get along with her own parents. So this one is called affinity. So that's why sometimes people we meet can be the closest, but they are the hate ones. Some I heard like auntie, uncle, sometimes ill-treat them when they were younger, when they were staying with them. And friends or even sometimes strangers. Of course, strangers can be hate ones. A few years back, I also met with one hate ones, which is a stranger. I was driving in Taman Tun. There was a traffic light. So I parked and then waited. Traffic light, So what to do? You just sit there and wait for the light to turn green, right? Suddenly behind, there's a wajah. Pam! Bang from behind. Luckily, I was not hurt. But the car was really badly damaged. So I came down, I saw the guy. I said, hey, you foreigner, no. You have license, He said, I don't have. No license. Some foreigner. I said, how come? Whose car is this? He said, my friend's car. So never mind. So we went report police lah. There's this middleman who actually brought me there and then helped me all these things, right? So this man, I was complaining to him. I said, so terrible. This guy, no license, some more foreigner. He said, Carol, okay already, for you, at least you are not hurt. I saw so many cases all being hit, died by people like that. No license and they are not Malaysians. Died some more, no. Imagine the anger in the deceased mind after she died, realized that just meeting with another hate once. And imagine the family members as well. At least I'm not hurt, is it? Only my car lah. So that's why we can meet people like that on the street, because these are all predestined. Because such a big thing, you see. So like for example, sometimes we meet with people who rob and kill. So all these are the meeting with hate ones, but they are all strangers. Okay? So next, number 7, not getting what we want. Okay, this one definitely like material and non-material. Material are like, cannot get a bigger car, bigger house I wanted, or maybe buy something very much but you cannot get, that one is also suffering. Non-material are like recognition, like loving relationship, attention, but you don't get. They are also not getting what we want. Okay, for example, when we were younger that time, we want to get a degree, but we couldn't, either due to poverty or we just cannot pass through because of quota system or whatever. Some people can hold this kind of grudge whole life one, just because they cannot get a degree. Like for example, career, we cannot get promoted in an office, not in a boss's favor, so we cannot get certain projects done or whatever. So all these are things that we cannot get. And for example, we want to marry this boy, end up marrying this boy. Okay? We want to marry this girl, end up marrying this girl. This is also something we cannot get. Some people after marriage, they want children, maybe cannot get. They want a son, or maybe cannot get. A lot of things lah. As long as you want to get, but you cannot get, it is another type of suffering. Okay? And then finally, endless pricking of 5 aggregates. This one is very consistent. Remember our first disc talk about insecurity and inferiority complex. Our insecure nature and our inferior nature always make us suffer. Many people don't really emphasize on 8, which is endless pricking of 5 aggregates. This suffering is the insecurity we feel inside and the inferiority that we experience. Remember when we were being abandoned, we feel very insecure, and after that we always wanted security. And because of that, we make ourselves very stressed out. We always fight, we always want to progress. We cannot rest. The moment we rest and relax, we feel very guilty. This type of thing, these are the 5 aggregates. Because all the happening that we suffered last time went into our memory. And the story all went into the memory and the story inside our 5 aggregates. This is the one. And inferiority is the same. For people who are being bullied before or unfairly treated when we were younger, so all this went inside our consciousness, our memory and our story. So the moment it stays inside, we become very angry because it's so unfair, and then why they bully me. And because of this, you feel you want to exaggerate the I and to protect the I so that you feel better, you feel balanced. So this inferiority makes a person very angry, very easily angered and very easily agitated. And all these are very bad feelings. Very lousy feelings. So I bet you remember this.
Carol, just now the 8 one, can it also cause by when it's in the womb that time, somehow something happened?
Yes. There was this story. This boy actually grew up hating the mother very much. But he didn't know why. One day he had a bottleneck in the career. So he went to see a hypnotist. So that man tried to hypnotize him. He led him back to childhood only. But then he went further until 2 months old inside the mother's womb. She heard the mother saying, I don't want this child. And then the father said, no, I must have this child. This is my son or my child. You must continue to conceive this child. So because of that incident, it went into his memory even though 2 months old as a fetus. So after he came out, that's why he said, no wonder all this while I don't like my mother, but I love my father. Because of this thing happened and he actually hurt. So actually from the hypnosis, he realized how come the relationship with the mother like that and with the father like that. Okay, so that's why even baby, they can listen to everything that we speak. Okay, so this inferiority and insecurity, remember this one? The ego that causes us our greed and anger. These are the suffering of our 5 aggregates. You know, our fear, our self-centeredness, our competitiveness, aggressive, calculative, selfish, revengeful. All these are the suffering of 5 aggregates. So is our anger. Angry, rigid, rebellious, very proud. We are actually perfectionists, judgmental, sensitive, arrogant, and critical. All these are the suffering of 5 aggregates. So the 8 suffering are the one that Buddha reminds us. These are the suffering in life. Okay, so the next question is, with this type of suffering, after a while, if we do not know how to accept it or to nullify it, we become very sad. Because we started off with a lot of worries, a lot of fear, then a lot of disappointment, and then also on the other side, we also have a lot of anger, a lot of agitation inside, bottle up feelings, ill will. So after that, from there, we overdo something or we underdo something. Remember the last 2 classes, we talk about guilt. And from there, we create a lot of guilt inside us. With this guilt, we try to run away, we blame outside, and we suffer. And then after a long while, this type of emotion, if we don't nullify it, it becomes a sadness boiling inside. So by the time a person got depressed, a little bit too late, unless you are on medication, or else it's very difficult for the person to listen to Dharma. Let's not go until that area that we cannot hear anything. So better we try to address all these emotion now when we can. Okay? So, coming to these 8 types of suffering, how do we soften this type of suffering in life? Right? Number 1, birth. For me, if you ask me about birth, let's say if I was born not so beautiful, poor, parents very bad, I don't have very good education, or maybe physically I am a disadvantage, all this so I will like to always match what happened to me, my fate, with my character. Remember this one as well. When I start to match it and I start to see others as well, I realize, this is the reason why I get it. Why I'm born so poor. Why I'm born with this type of siblings. Why I'm born with this kind of divorce happening to me. This kind of failure, bankruptcy. I realize it was actually all because of my own doing. Because of my character. Because that character very directly affect my fate. So I see this one myself first, then I start to see other people. I listen to their story. Sooner or later, I found out nothing happened for no reason. Nothing happened for no reason. There must be something I need to learn. Especially something already born like that. So from there, I begin to accept and start to learn from that. This one is how I accept birth. Who I am, what I have, and what will happen to me. Definitely something to do with my own character. You cannot run away one. Okay? This is 100% versus 100%. So, this one, I accept it that way. About old age, sickness, and death, this is something not easy to accept. Because you know why? This is just part and parcel of life. Of course, when we are luckier, we don't have sickness. Hopefully old, then die. That one is better. Everybody wish. But hopefully old then die. That's the best. Okay we wish for that but old age and death is something we cannot run away. And sometimes when we can grow old, we have to be happy because some people don't even have old age. Correct? No? So to me, I feel the older I get, the more I want to celebrate birthday. The younger, what for, man? You also don't know what's it ahead. so all these three, okay, we lump it together, all these are just part and parcel of life. Nobody can avoid, especially death. I remember I had a friend in his 70s. He was very sad. One day he came and looked for me. He said, I felt very sad. I don't know why. I just feel very sad. Like everything is bye-bye. Don't know why like that. So after that, we were talking. Suddenly, I don't mean it. I just simply say a phrase, hey, who don't die? Everybody die. Even the Buddha died. The bodily, the Buddha died. Jesus died. Nabi Muhammad died. Suddenly, he kept very quiet, I don't know why the acceptance went inside him. He felt very good and he became happy again. Because you feel, everybody die what? Why I harp on it? It's just like the story told by Theravada, Kesa and the mustard seeds. You all heard? Heard before? Yeah, this lady, the son died. So she went round the kampong looking for medicine to revive the son. So there was this man said, why not you go look for the Buddha? The Buddha may have a cure for him. So after that, he went to the Buddha. So the Buddha saw the baby. He know that this lady just cannot accept death of the son. So what he did was he asked the lady, I can cure your son, but I need mustard seeds from family or from a home whereby nobody died before. Once you get, I can cure your son. Oh, so this lady went round the whole village to look for mustard seed from a home without death. So after all the visit, each time she hears that this house also has somebody died before, this house also, that house also, and in fact every house has somebody died before. With this consistent visiting, actually the acceptance eats in. She started to begin to accept death is something very common. It's something just part and parcel of life. Okay? She went back to the Buddha, told the Buddha, she said, I finally understood death is something I need to accept. So after that, she buried the son and became the disciple of the Buddha. So even the story also taught us a lesson, you see. So a lot of times, death is something you just cannot run away. Everybody got to face. Okay? So however, we can rise beyond death. Death is the relative issue of birth. The moment you have birth, you sure have death. So that's why we need a Buddha to come here to teach us how to rise above death. To solve this acceptance for death, we need some supramundane wisdom. When we die with a smiling face. Not die, accept, but I die very, helplessly. You can die very happily because you know death is not real. Okay, death is not real. Not only let go. Actually, death is not what we thought. It was not like that. It was all the concept went inside. Okay, the last part of this lesson, we also come to talk on this one. It's the breaking of the concept. Death is something we all create. Actually, it's not like that. So we have to be brave enough and courageous enough to walk inside what is death. So that one is supramundane wisdom. So finally, okay, now the interesting part is 5, 6, and 7. So there are so many parting with loved ones, meeting with hate ones, and not getting what we want every day. So there's this rule we call 3 rules of acceptance. So this is another formula to teach us how to accept a bottleneck or maybe accept something which is we consider a suffering like 5, 6, or 7. Because again, I want to stress, acceptance is not to do. You accept lah. How to accept? Okay, acceptance is after we doing a formula we'll be going through. After you've done the formula already, acceptance come in very quietly and you just accept. It is an effect of after all the homework.
It's just like Kisa and the mustard seed. The Buddha didn't ask Kisa to just accept your son is dead. So Buddha still has to ask Kisa to go and do something, which is go to every house without death
and collect the mustard seed. This exercise alone, kids start to understand that nobody don't die. So while going through the houses, the acceptance is actually sinking into Kisa until the last house, finally she woke up. The acceptance is a process. It is not something to do.
Okay, so we cannot go straight to accept something. We must do homework. Okay, then by the time we can accept easily. Right? 3 rules of acceptance. Okay, for example, maybe I give you one example. First, did I do my part in a situation? For example, I'm in an office. I was not promoted because my boss don't like me. So, have I done my part? Okay, the first criteria we have to do this. Did I do my work properly? Or maybe did I be friendly to my boss? Or did I meet up with all my due dates? Did I get along well with my colleagues? These are the part that I am supposed to do as an employee in a company. Right? So, did I do my part? But again, doing your part, go back to your skill of middle way. Step back and see from lateral side, where is the middle line? When I'm saying you're doing your part, means doing your part as according to what the market prescribe. Not doing your part like buy present, buy cake, corrupt. Because when I ask people to do their part, some people will sway. When doing our part, we have to look for the middle line. Using lateral thinking and checking the market standard, and then where is the middle line? I'm a good employee because I am quite diligent. I don't go back sharp 5 o'clock. I stay on for a while. No need to stay until 9 o'clock. Have to say nice words to bosses. Do the things you're not supposed to do, like some illegal things. Not all this, Doing our part as a good employee comparing to people outside. I'm actually quite good already. I'm not demanding. I'm not angry. I talk properly. All this doing my part. Okay, so first thing, check, did I do my part? If maybe after doing, actually my boss start to like me. Because I never smile. I very rigid. I see people, I always put on a black face. That's why maybe I change over. Better already. Soft. Done. No acceptance needed. Actually, it's for improvement only. Okay? So, maybe I can resolve by doing that. Or, no. He just simply didn't like me. Got right? Got this kind of thing, cases. So, how I did my part, I'm quite okay compared to a lot of people. My colleague also like me, but it's just that this boss just don't like me. No. Okay. Next. Can I leave? Can I leave? Yeah, what? If I already done my part, and yet I'm still not being favored, or don't need to say favored, I'm still not being treated fairly, can I leave that job? But of course, I'm talking about physical. Can I move on? Yes, I can find another job outside anytime. Go, by all means. But what if I can't? Maybe my salary very high. I'm already senior ranking. With my age, in the 50s, how to find another job? People cannot pay you so high. Correct or not? I just cannot. So, no. So what is it? After I did my part and I checked, I just cannot leave. I have to carry on with this. I have to accept this is my fate. This is my karma dealing with this man. Then only the acceptance come in, because you try ways and means to do something about it, but you just cannot. Here, at this level, our attitude become very different. Because I try so hard already, I try to do my part, but I just cannot leave. I just continue working there, happily tell myself, this is something I need to pay off. It is a journey to train myself. It is a learning, to ask me to be patient. Because all the pain and torture within that environment is actually a debt paying process. Or else it won't happen to us. Like I said before, whatever happened to us is really what we deserve. This type of negative affinity with him, maybe in the past, we already had something installed in his eighth consciousness and in my eighth consciousness. I just carry on and continue to be myself and be happy. Continue to pay him back. Okay? So this is a learning that we accept. At least at this level, you ask me to accept. I can, because I try so hard, like that. I change myself, I change over, also cannot. Never mind, I continue. Because we are learning how to accept, you see. We cannot just, because the boss so bad to me, I cannot leave, I just accept. Accept what? We have to do something first. We have to change over. I see maybe I didn't do this part, I didn't do that part, so I change over first. And then still he is like that. That means it's a learning for us. It's really somebody, the meeting with head ones in life, got one. Because so many past life, the affinity with everyone not necessarily friendly one. Depends on what happened before. How come this person just don't like you? All that you have done just don't like you. This one. But I really tried my best, So I just continue and move on happily. Pay off happily. Remember the housing loan? Just pay off happily. Yeah. So this one is office, at home how many this type? This boss, suddenly, if our attitude is right, this boss suddenly become Pusa. Because he trained me to be patient and resilient, and continue on, and then I pay off the debt, and I become stronger eventually. Like last time when I was working in the bank, this bank, in terms of profit per head, we are the top. That means each employee, they produce the profit is top in all banks. Means they all very bad to us. Not bad lah. A bit stingy lah. Alright. So if you want to be angry about it, so sorry for you lah. But after that, when I came out from that bank, I go to any bank and I spoke that I was from that bank. No need further interview. Come. You understand not? It's a good training ground for us. And after that, you go anywhere, they say from which bank? That bank, can come. Because already known in the market that this bank, you come out, the employees are ichipang one. Correct not? So suddenly, that bank, the bosses are my pusa, man. Correct not? So it's a matter of attitude. So sometimes it's like that lah. Actually, all is mine. All is mine. How we want to see things only. If we choose to see things very negatively, sure we're very unhappy. Nothing outside need to be changed, It's how we see things. We can convert an enemy into our pusa. We can convert a pusa into enemy. It's all our own doing. See how we want to see things from our perspective. Okay? So with this formula, we share 3 more examples. All very practical examples because you must know how to apply. Or else you learn this one, wasted. Very handy. I always use this in my life. For example, we talk about parting with loved ones. My children grown up, especially this son, I love very much. So I felt very, very sad and very, very bad because this son no longer listened to me. He will always follow what the wife said and ignore what I said. Got Very common, Okay? So, how to apply this rule? You have to accept. Accept lah, auntie. It's like that one lah. How to accept? I love the son so much, and now he's like that to me. Correct, no? So I have to go through some homework before I can actually accept. Okay? Number 1, doing my part. Have we done our part as a mother? Have I done my part in the relationship with my son? Number 1, have I raised him up properly? Yes, he is now grown up. I love him very much. The next one is something a lot of people don't do. Have you communicated well to him how you feel? Did you tell your son that you are very hurt because of that. This kind of thing no need to tell one lah. He know one ma. How to know? People don't know. Especially men, they don't know. They don't know. So I said, this is your part, We have to do our part by communicating. Correct or not? Tell the son, situation like that, you keep siding your wife, I'm your mother, I feel very, very sad, Not even once you side me. Say lah, express lah yourself, you see. Then maybe the son say, yeah, okay. Yeah, by the way, it's true, so maybe can resolve. Okay? But after I tell my son, no, he's still like that, he's still the same. So what can I do? Can I leave? It depends on if I stay with him and I'm so unhappy about it, can I move to my own house or move to another son's house? Suddenly another son say, hey ma, come over and stay with me. So I go lah. So if I leave, maybe yes, I can resolve the thing. At least this son no hope already. Already expressed myself also, he still think that I am not important. Okay? So I move on. But what if I cannot leave? If this is the only son, or maybe I don't have money, I have to stay with him, then we start to accept it as my karma, my fate. We don't immediately accept, You cannot immediately accept, it's like that one, your son like that, it's like that, everybody also like that. But we have to do something first before we come to the acceptance. Or else we become everything karma, everything also karma. You cannot say everything also karma. We have to check whether I have done my part as a mother, especially in terms of communication. Okay? So this is one of the example. So another one, meeting with hate ones. My husband very unreasonable, very hot-tempered, and sometimes even have extramarital affair. So I always quarrel with him, and he always show me black face. Common. Out there, a lot telling me the same thing. So how do we apply rule of acceptance? Okay, number one, did I do my part? I will check as a wife. Have I done my part towards this husband? Okay, so a lot of things I can learn. Maybe I want to turn this guy into my pusa. Instead of meeting hate ones, why not I use this opportunity to see how he can actually teach me. Okay, number one, I check. Am I a good wife? Must ask first. Not everything also karma. What karma? We didn't do our part. It's not karma, no? Maybe did I speak properly? Did I yell or maybe use a lot of harsh words and make the family unhappy? That's why the husband also black face, So maybe I should change over this one. So suddenly the husband become pusa. Have I done my chores as a wife? Clean the house, children brought up properly, Have I done this? Or have I been thrifty, frugal, and hardworking? And then lastly, have I taken care of my own outlook? All these can make me improve one, All these are good things. Outlook, come on, again, middle way. Nobody asks you to be lao ka ling, okay?
we were having a session yesterday, we talk about needs and wants. Someone says that skincare is a need.
Oh, nowadays, correct. Okay, fine. Okay, to us, the middle way, I feel, we have to be prim and proper, presentable, clean, tidy, decent. No need brand, no need to be so plastic surgery, all this no need. If my husband want me to be like that, I am not going to be. I just want to be prim and proper, and if you still think that I'm not good enough, I'm sorry. Because I'm using my middle way. If I follow what he said and go for plastic surgery whatever because just to make sure I keep up all this, I will hate myself one day. That's more important. Correct or not? When I don't like myself, do you think another man will like me? Okay, So sometimes the middle way is very important. We must see the guideline. I am what I am. I'm old already, old already. So outside very beautiful, I cannot do anything. But I have done the 4. Okay, I speak properly. I speak properly. No need to be like, te or speak until people cannot hear you. Not that time. Speak properly. Speak properly and then decent, hopefully with some wisdom, better, okay? Then number 2, outlook, I'm prim and proper, decent, no need to be so beautiful, like that. And then number 3, I do my house chores, I raise my children up, I'm close to my kid, like that good lah. No need to be OCD, make sure everything clean, 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 clean. Not like that. Again, lopsided. And then finally, I am quite frugal, I'm not stingy, hardworking. So if I'm okay, I check outside, actually I'm quite a good wife, Correct. So I've done my part. In fact, from there, maybe the husband start to see, actually, my wife, not bad, because change, resolve. And then another one doing our part is to communicate. If the husband always black face, we can express our concern. Because my friend that they taught me one thing, I also find it quite interesting. She said, she go and tell the husband, why every time you see me, you're so unhappy, so black face? Is it because something wrong with me? That make you don't like my presence? Is it better if I'm not in your presence? Or the husband felt bad. Don't point at him, point at ourselves, can you please tell me? Correct. So this is something we can actually communicate and tell the husband or the spouse. So after I've done my part, let's say everything resolved better. If it's not resolved, can I leave? If no children, by all means. Okay. If no children, only a paper, then you go, because you're not happy anymore. Right? Or some people still don't go on because of the affinity. After left already feel guilty. Or maybe feel I cannot lose. Sometimes the ego. I also met with people like that. Qin Qin actually sometimes is an excuse. It's actually I cannot lose. Cannot lose to you. Why should I lose to you? Not lose to other outside people. Lose to the husband, no, because of the rivalry from past life. Okay? So if I can leave, I leave. Okay. But if I have 3 children, sorry cannot leave already. So if I have 3 children, it's not for me to say already. So I continue and I accept it as my fate. It's like that He always black face So I accept him. He is like that. I already done my part and he is still like that. He is here to make me learn patience and diligence. That's all. That's where only we start to accept that situation is such I cannot do much already. Correct or not? Then after that, I can bet with you. If let's say we pay our debt, just continue, don't care. Because I've done my part, I change over, I continue and live happily with my children, One day, when the debt is finished, you can feel suddenly the stress is no longer there. Either the husband woke up, or maybe one day the husband actually being assigned to another place to work and still continue sending money back. So no need to live with him because it's so terrible to live with. So this one is actually, it depends how your karma unfold. Just continue. Have faith in ru lai. Ru lai means, the flow of karma. Have faith in that. Not have faith in your husband, no. Not have faith in the Buddha. It's having faith in the Yu Loi, the Tathagata, the how actually things flow, the karma, the karmic forces. Have faith in that. Serious. Everything is ruled by that in the samsara. Of course, the Buddha taught us something even rise above that. Okay, so this is the rulaya, the Tathagata is this. Okay, have faith in that. Continue. Don't worry. Just do. Something will unfold. I see so many around me. But if you halfway give up, sorry you cannot see the effect already. Because you start churning again the 8 consciousness, the karma in the 8 consciousness. because your anger, everything comes out. And then the next thing, what you know, is karmic debt. Karmic, not character, karmic debt. Because too much of negativity, we have karmic debt, you know. Then a lot of bad things will befall us. Because of, this one, we next lesson we talk. Okay? So, last example. Okay, we talk about things that we want, we cannot get. For example, my children wants to go overseas. As parents, I cannot afford, which I wanted very much, but I cannot. So, how? Use acceptance in this level. Okay, did I do my part as a parent? I raised them up properly. I let them have education until Form 5. And then, of course, another area of doing our part, very important here, is that have I worked very hard for them? I'm frugal and I am hardworking. If let's say I big car, big house, everything, I'm very lavish, but I tell you, I cannot send you overseas. That means we are not doing our part. We sure feel guilty already. You know, and it's very difficult to accept. Right? So if I did my part as a parent, you know, that I try very hard to save some money for your education, but now you look at the exchange rate, sending you to US or to even London or even Singapore, at least 600K. It's not easy, and it's not only one of you, no. Maybe I got 3 kids. You send one, you don't send the other 2. At least 3 of them are millions already. But sometimes I just cannot afford. So when I cannot afford, I check. Actually, I'm trying to be very ordinary only. As a parent, I go to normal restaurant. I mean, of course, once in a while, good restaurant. I drive a decent car. I don't wear branded. You know, I'm trying to be a good parent to all of you. But if I really cannot afford, I will communicate and tell you that I cannot. Communicate. Said, son, actually, Daddy, Mommy work very hard, but economy now like that. And then you look at the exchange. So I'm so sorry. Maybe you can study here. You go to the better college. After talking to him, resolve. Okay, he said, okay, Daddy, no problem. I study local. Then okay lah. It's the same with my nephew like that. Okay, we tell him very directly. Yeah, I wanted to go to England because he wanted to study was pure mathematics. You don't get it here, you see. So what to do? The parents cannot afford. 3 of them are not cheap, you know. So we expressed very nicely. Then after that, he actually studied local in one of the best colleges. I said, after your degree, based on your own result, you apply scholarship, you go over. That's the best way. So communicate nicely, then you can resolve your problem. And we must do our part. Okay, so what if cannot, he still cannot accept, still want to go because the friends all going, of course cannot leave lah. This one's son, how to leave? Okay, so we have to accept the fact that we have to disappoint this boy, and this is his journey. We have to accept disappointment. No? What to do? Because I really did my best, I still cannot send you over. And if you are disappointed, I will stay by you and tell you, never mind, this is disappointment of life. That's all. You know, we have to accept disappointment befalling our children. It's very, very okay. Not everything also yes to children. You know what happened to the Dr. Call's son? You know the Dr. Call's son? Suicide. The interview you heard, he said he never say no to the son because eldest son. So the day the girlfriend say no, pum, jump down. Penang, right? I think he fell in love with the best friend's girlfriend. But the girl one day told him she didn't want to be with him. Morning tell, afternoon already jumped down. So the father during the interview, he said he never say no to this boy. We have to let them try disappointment, say no to them, rejection. Let them learn how to accept all these things in life. Because as parents, you may not reject them. But what about people outside? Correct or not? So that's why I say sometimes it's okay to let them down. And also another issue here is, are you very sure going overseas to study is so important? We see for ourselves what? A lot of us made it. Hey, some of my friends only form 5, man. It's all a matter of attitude plus your karma. Again, remember the Buddha said, it's all your dana, the karma dana. If you have the dana, whatever you touch become gold. If you do not have the dana, I don't care how smart you are, how hardworking, and how many people you know, what kind of cable you pull, things just don't materialize. It's all because of our dana. See so many already around my side also. Some of my friends are not very smart one, Then suddenly in the lift met some politician, then got a big job, and then suddenly become fatat already. Lift, inside a lift, not attend a seminar, no, inside the lift. So when the thing come, means come. I've got one cousin, worse, sit there and he drink coffee. Suddenly, I think the karma come. The Indian man sell lottery. Ask him to buy. He said, don't want lah, don't want. Don't kacau lah, don't want. Mesti ambil. Put inside the pocket for him, no. First prize. Million, no. That's why when it comes, it comes. So that's why it's not necessary we have to please our children, let them go overseas, the whole family suffer. Actually, it's not right. Actually, the way is the middle way. A lot of times, children actually are very good children. They are very filial. They just want to do the things that the parents want them to because they are filial. I just don't want to go against you. So what they do is that they follow your instruction and they study whatever they want. End up only 2 results. Either they didn't fare well or they did very well but they give you back. And then at the end of the day, the relationship tarnished. Because it's not what I want. So sometimes wasted a lot of money as well. Actually, a lot of times it's not the children, it's parents. We parents, we want to send them there, send them here, because we never had before. We also want that kind of recognition that my son is from overseas because I never had chance to go, So actually the son may not want. So a lot of times our parents, sometimes you think, you go overseas, a better chance, you can make better money and stuff like that. I can tell you, not very sure of that one also. I see so many people around me, they are doing very well, actually not because they got this paper. It's the attitude and their karma. Seriously, karma very important. Okay? These are normal rules of acceptance we can use. You see whatever you cannot let go, you cannot accept one, you try this one. After that, your acceptance come in easily. Because while you're trying to do your part that time, the acceptance already coming in. Whether can live or not live, that one, you do a lot of contemplation and check, all this acceptance coming in already. By the time you know there's no way out, your acceptance is already inside. Acceptance come in as an effect of a lot of contemplation and a lot of work done. That one is acceptance. Okay? So, actually, the best one, the one that beyond all this one, is the Mahayana text. We call it 无生法忍. Non-arising of views on all phenomena forever. 无生法忍. 无生法忍 is a phenomena, is something that can attain only by the Mahabodhisattva. We have 1 until 12. The Buddha is 12. So any bodhisattva reach 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, anything above 8, only you have this 无生法忍. Okay, but this one is people forever lah. We all don't have forever lah, but we can use this one. All the skills prescribed under 5 PAT are all Mahabodhisattva skills. It's just that they all 95%, 100%. We all only 2%, 3%. Never mind, we can still do it. But it is still a skill, okay? Including this one, the non-arising of views, breaking of concept on all phenomena. 无生 is non-arising of views. Fa is on all phenomena. Ren means for a long time, forever lah. Okay, so how do we use non-arising of views to handle all our suffering? Okay, for example, just now we were talking about children always follow what the wife said, but don't listen to what I said. All right, So, arising of view is, why must our son follow what we said? Why must he follow what I said? Because I have a preconceived view, this is my son. I raised him up. He has to follow what I said. Correct or not? As parents, we are always like that, right? So we have to break this view that my son has to follow what I said. So if I do not hold a concept or a view that my son have to follow what I said, actually I broke free. You want to listen to your wife, go ahead. Make sure you don't come back and disturb me. Go. You listen to your wife. I'm happy for you. Correct or not? It's actually a concept that why he didn't listen to me anymore. We live inside a concept. That's why we are locked by our own concept, not the situation. So it goes the same for the second one. Husband always black face. Okay, always very harsh to me, black face, hot-tempered, is really meeting hate ones. So, my breaking of concept, after I've done my part, I did my part as a good wife, because I'm a woman, I talk about wife lah. I said I did my part as a wife, the 4 things I've done all, okay? And yet, he is still like that to me. So, my next question is, I come down immediately to break the concept of a husband must be nice to a wife. Why must a husband be nice to a wife? Is the concept again. A husband must be always smiling at me. A husband cannot blackface. This is only your concept that you hold. Not necessary. He is like that, he is like that lah. A husband lah. Why must I have so many expectations from a husband? You get me, It goes the same. Why must I have so many expectations of a wife? It was all these expectations hurt me, you see. Because now he is not. I have a friend. He actually like husband with black face, Because his husband always giggling. So he say, you see other people's husband are so serious, so handsome, You see my husband? Like that. You see? So, it's only a matter of perspective, You see, you want like that. That person see, that person want this one. So it's actually a concept that we hold.
See how we see.
See how we see. Actually, all these are concepts that lock us. Okay, we come into the parting with loved ones. Many concepts here we are holding. Number 1, why cannot part? Why cannot part? Correct or not? We already know impermanence, what? Why cannot part? Part lah. It was because we're holding that attachment, you see. So the parting itself is so terrible that we just cannot accept parting. Okay? And loved ones. Why only these loved ones that you love? And why are you holding so hard on these loved ones? It's again our concept that we hold on, you see. When we meet with situations, parting with loved ones, we always ask ourselves, my child, let's say, grown up already. Next time he leave, he has to leave. My parents, I love them very much. One day they pass on, they die. Pass lah, go. Because this is a concept that I hold on to them only. You get me? Because everybody got to go through this one. If you want to talk on this one, you expand the whole samsaric thing. Now you part, you think you will never meet again? We meet in a different form only. We still meet. It's only whether good affinity or bad affinity. Okay? So parting is actually something we hold on this concept that things cannot fall apart. I want them permanently like that because this attachment is so beautiful. I love this attachment. Then this attachment is something we create inside. Understand? So it goes the same for next, meeting with hate ones. Again, this is what concept we hold on to. Hate ones. Why do you meet a boss like that? You would think that he is a hate one. Why can't we think that this boss is trying to train me good to work under this type of bosses? I will be very resilient next time. This kind of wife, this kind of husband, why do you think is no good? Actually, I know I got something to learn from them, or else I won't meet this person. I want to break the concept of the hate ones. Seriously, in life, when we meet with some bad people, that's where we learn fastest, That's where we behave, we see ourselves, and we learn faster and we grow stronger. I have a friend has been telling me the whole family are all Buddhists. They are learning Dharma very well. So she said, no fun at home because everybody's so good. Nothing to learn. Serious. You only learn when people start to rival with us. Correct or not? You rival, then I see my anger. Ooh, I'm also like that. No. Not that I want to fight you. I see myself. Then I realized, actually I'm also quite sensitive. I'm also quite terrible. That's where I wake up. You see? So it's actually only a concept. Hate ones no good. I don't like hate ones. So it's again concept. That's why the Mahabodhisattva, they don't arise views according to what the world said. That's why we break free. You realize that all our suffering is because of the concept we created inside our mind and then we lock ourselves. They are all manifestation of phenomena only. Okay? So, the last one is 求不得, not getting things that I want. Okay, getting. Why do we want to get? Because the world always tells us when we do something, we must have result. Correct or not? This is under Diamond Sutra, the lifespan perception, the fourth one. Very, very sneakily, whatever we do, we want to start something and end something, and we must see the result. Correct or not? Students study, how many A's? Go to what school? In between, we don't learn anything. Children fail. How do you handle failure, son? Do you feel sad? Okay, how do you handle sadness, disappointment? And when you're doing well, did you see your ego coming up? All these we never teach our children, no. How many A's? Did you study? Why your friend do better than you? We only talk about result. All must got starting, ending. And we only place importance on the ending, the result. Because of the concept learned from the world, from the samsaric world, that we must do something must get a result. Okay? Another concept we hold under this is what? Why do you want this? Because I thought this is better. Why do I want a bigger car? Why do I want a bigger promotion? Why do I want somebody to say I'm good? Because recognition, because satisfaction, because excitement, because of a loving attachment. So all these we want because we thought all these things are higher, better. We don't break concept to pull the higher, better back to equal. We have a lot of high and low, right and wrong. So the moment you have a lot of separation, we tend to like something and don't like something. That's why we are so tired. That's why we suffer. Okay? So we start to break the concept of all the desire we want usually is higher. Like for example, right, correct, beautiful, better. We want all this, you see. That's why we don't want lower, wrong, mistake, behind, slow. We don't want all this, you see. That's why we start to always wanting something, That's why we always have this suffering of not getting what we want. Understand? Actually, this Wusen Fahren that really can solve all the problems. And in fact, you can come inside here and even break the concept of birth, old age, sickness, and death. That's where we go beyond birth and death. Of course, this concept is slightly more deep. But this breaking of concept is once and for all and forever one. Okay, that's why it ties back to this chart. remember the true repentance? Bad karma arises from the mind. Therefore, we have to contemplate on our views and concept. Bad karmas, that means just now all the 8 suffering arises from our mind. It's actually our view and our concept that we hold on only. Therefore, we have to contemplate on this view. What is this view? Let's say if I don't get promotion, I don't get the kind of bonus, I don't get the kind of recognition from my boss. Okay, so now we look at our bad karma. Arises from the mind. I feel that not being promoted is bad. Therefore, we have to contemplate and we look at this view. Why is it being promoted so important? Because I feel that is higher, and that is result. That is the recognition to me. So we hold on to this. That's why we cannot let go. That's why we got very hurt when we are not promoted. Okay? If our views and concepts are eliminated, all our bad karma shall vanish. If my view and my concept of being promoted is no longer there, it's not very important to be promoted. Important thing is when I work in this company, I'm happy or not. Maybe I learn a lot of things. I go there, I get a better demand. Or maybe in the office, I'm very happy with my colleagues. Promote, not important. Don't have this concept of wanting to climb and promote. Suddenly, your views and concept are eliminated. So, where is the bad karma? Even if I'm not promoted, it's not bad karma anymore. So, both views and concept and bad karma are eliminated. They become empty. Why is that so? Because views and concepts are like just now what I said. The boy said, the lady said, I prefer a husband with black face. Then this woman want the husband to be smiling all the time. You see, so a husband is a husband. Whether black face or smiling is good or bad, is actually up to how we see things only. Because all the views and concepts are empty. Once empty means what? It's up to you how you want to define. Okay, that's why view about bad karma can be eliminated because everything is empty. Okay, finally, this is the ultimate meaning of repentance. Remember this one, starting from first class until today, we're also talking about this phrase. Because this is the everything you can do to eliminate whatever you are suffering from. Why is this repentance? For example, the one that not getting what I want, actually we really mind not getting what we want. That's why we suffer. Okay, so what we do is that we go and, let's say for that promotion again, we go and seize, we go and, try to fight, we go and do rivalry with our colleagues, we do a little bit of gossiping here, slandering there, so things like that, we actually create a lot of bad karma. But the problem is that the moment I don't want this promotion anymore, being promoted is not important anymore, I won't do already. I won't do all the fighting comparing trying to slander tell some gossip here and there, So I don't do this kind of bad karma. Isn't this the ultimate repentance? Because what I want to get is no longer important. So the not getting doesn't exist. When am I not getting what I want? Getting doesn't exist. What I want also doesn't exist. So that phrase, not getting what you want is a suffering, vanish. You get me, not? So this is the ultimate way of handling all our suffering in life. Is to break all the concept that the world has been telling us. A little bit deep, but this is really the ultimate way of doing things. Any question? We all got 5 minutes.
It's regarding the no views.
Breaking of views. Okay.
Non-arising of views.
Yeah.
The Buddha has says that there are 5 heinous crimes.
5
heinous crimes, like not hurting, drawing blood from a Buddha, not killing our parents. The 6th heinous crime, or I call it serious crime, not too heinous in the sense that it's actually no views. All views are wrong views. Because you actually, if you have the view, you are imprisoning yourself permanently without any escape. And with your wrong views, you are actually imparting wrong views and wrong thoughts into other people also. And the mass public will be misled. So the 6 heinous crime as it is, where many people overlooked, is very important.
This no view you're talking about.
Yes,
no view,
no
right?
views. All views are wrong views.
Uh-huh.
In other words, if you have a view, then your view is already wrong. You have a wrong concept. The concept brings you to wrong thoughts and wrong actions in that sense. So by that wrong actions and thoughts, that you have already committed a karma, a wrong karma.
No views are the best,
Yes.
lah. Okay.
Because your mind is free from any thoughts or any intentions or wrong views.
Actually, the whole Mahayana Sutta text is actually the pu'er, that means no two extreme. The moment you have good, you have bad.
Yes.
That's why the good is also a wrong thing. Because the moment you arise good, definitely a bad is always there. It's relative. Again, so that's why inside the teaching, the Buddha always promote middle way. To be very frank, the Buddha said whatever he uttered, whatever he says are all not Dharma. Because Dharma is something cannot be spoken on. Because Dharma is so middle that no words can describe. If I utter I, there's you. If I utter go, there's come. If I said sit, there's stand. If I say anything, if I say or got e, that's why the word cannot come out. The real Dharma is something not spoken one. When you go back to the Tathagata, we call the Rulai, that is all going back to the flow only. Even the flow is wrong. It's still flow. You don't flow, you go back, you are everywhere, but nowhere. How to say like that? The view is such lah. The moment we have left, you have right. Sorry.
Sometimes I felt that when I have a thought, if it's negative, then when I realize that, it's a wrong views that I had on this thought. But then I look at this on this side, it's a right views. But eventually, you come to no need to say, these are the both views you have, that's all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you see them as views, and then we are in the samsara, right? So we follow what the samsara said because we know we are in the samsara. We respect how people do things because this is the place whereby we are here to learn to wake up. So when within here, a lot of things try to make us go into this dream. So when the samsara world people in the dream, we also respect because this is a dreamland. You get me, no? People chase after big name, big car. Okay, I'm happy for you. I cannot say you're wrong. No, you're wrong. We don't. We understand because people are not ready. But after they go and chase after all this, then they get very hurt. They suddenly realize, what am I doing? At the end of the day, I still die. Okay, you want to wake up? I tell you a secret. At that time only we tell. That's why this is the place, even if you have wrong view, we respect. You wrong view lah. Unless the person want to wake up. Or else, we don't say anything. That's why outside, a lot of people don't know I talk Dharma also. I tell my friend, hey, you got anything, you can ask me ma. Hey, I thought you sing karaoke only. Okay, sing. So that's why I only talk about Dharma in the center. Because people come in here, we want to wake up. We go outside, don't talk. Because they are not ready. Even if you talk, you scare the hell out of them. Because I'm telling you to kill all your concepts. Because we are already in the samsara. But in the samsara, of the samsara. We are in the samsara, but of the samsara. That is the right attitude. Okay, that's why today's class actually for this acceptance, the ultimate highest level of acceptance is to break all your concept. Actually, the whole acceptance is no longer exists. No need to accept. What is there to accept? Because for the person who actually broke the concept, is this suffering? You call this suffering? You don't even know this is suffering. What is there to accept? Nothing to accept, what? Just like my mother, lah. But she doesn't know Dharma. My father is a gambler, child abuser, alcoholic, never bring back money to raise us. So my mother did everything. So to raise 6 of us. Today, some more she can buy her own property, whatever. A lot of times people interview her, Auntie, you very suffering, your husband like that. You call that one suffering, meh? Is that one suffering, I thought getting married is like that. Raise children like that one, ma. I asked her, you want to come back another round, your life like that? She said, okay. My father tried to beat her some more, but she's very powerful. She's not the soft type, that's why she can do so many things. My father beat her, she will beat back. So my father dare not only. My father 6-footer, my mother only 5 feet. But my mother very strong, very resilient. Doesn't mean that you are a developed being. You are very soft-spoken, you are very nice. It's not, We carry concept like a developed being must be like that, like that, like that, like that. That's why we got so many people cheat us lah. Cheat us, they pretend like that, like that, like that. So you thought they are like that, they're that very highly developed. Actually, highly developed being, I said many times, highly developed being, very ordinary one. Just like any auntie, uncle on the street, that's all. But when you live with that person, you find this person don't have much emotion, bad emotion. All the fear, worry, all the anger, don't really have. But they only use this emotion to handle situation, and that's it. After the situation being handled, you turn around, no more. This type of people, I'm sure got one. Very clean, they're very clean. They don't hear blackface, go back home also blackface, whole day blackface. Other one, they still carry on with the emotion. So that's why a very highly developed being, very ordinary. Any more questions? Final? Oh, no more questions, Okay, I think also time's up already. Thank you, everybody.